You are listening to Indie 88. It's Lana. So very excited to announce that the December 8th and 9th shows of Tim Baker at TD Music Hall are now completely sold out, and we still have a little ways to wait for the brand new record called Along the Mountain Road. It's an EP out October 20th. New tracks, companion to the album, The Festival, and of course, the great Tim Baker joins me in studio now. Tim, how are you?
I'm good. Thank you. How are you, the great Lana Gay?
I'm doing okay. It's been real talk. I just went over I got through a heartbreak.
Oh.
So, but I think the last time we were interviewed, I think you were in that seat.
I was riding that roller coaster myself. Yeah, I'm sorry to hear it.
Thanks. What's your, is there a secret that you have for conquering?
No, just be patient, really. Just time is the only thing. So just like,
all right.
But that is heartening, to know that you just got to hang on.
Yeah.
And it'll go away.
Mm-hmm. Do you have any particular songs that you wrote or during that time that ever got released? Am I getting too personal already off the top?
That's okay. No, there is a breakup song on this EP. Yeah, called New Key.
Well, you know what? It's not out just yet. We've got 2 tastes of what's to come.
That's right. That's coming out in October. You can't hear that one yet. That's true.
So the new record, October 20th. I wanted to talk about, so what we've got the taste of so far is the track 2020.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if I'm the only one who has heard when I first heard the first 30 seconds, I was like, what in the Radiohead is this?
Oh.
And I feel like it's truly just the intro of that track set me up. And I was really wondering, and maybe it's just my ears, but I was wondering what your influences were at this time or what you were listening when you were creating these songs.
Oh, wow.
And don't worry, when we play this on the air, I'm going to play a little sample before we get into the track.
Well, I actually would like to hear it myself, just to be like, oh, interesting.
Am I throwing you for a loop?
A little bit. I mean, obviously, Radiohead's a huge band for, anyone my sort of age demographic. Huge heroes. But that was not intentional, certainly.
Mm-hmm.
That song for me, I wrote it a good while ago now, and to me, it always felt a little bit too sort of Hey Rosetta-y, actually, in the way that it's just it starts very, very quiet and kind of grows into this big, expansive kind of joyous thing, and I almost didn't release it or didn't even fully go into recording it.
Really?
Yeah, because I took a kind of an intentional break away from that side of my musical imagination to do the solo thing, and so that start small, grow to this big epic thing. I tried to explore and experience music without that having to always be there, because. But I just love it so much.
Yeah.
I love lots of music, lots of sound piled on top of each other.
Do you think when you listen back, though, did you think that you were preventing that beautiful build from being in some of your solo work? Was it something you were trying to suppress? And now you're like letting it all out?
Not really. In the writing, I don't think I was trying to suppress it. Maybe I was. But certainly, like, this was a song that I wrote, and I was like, oh, maybe not. Maybe it's a bit, like, I let it out, but then maybe it doesn't actually go on the record, But here it is.
I'm super excited and again, it was just the first. Sorry, I didn't mean to lead you astray, but it was the first 20 seconds. I was like, "What's going on here?"
I'm going to listen to it and think about that.
I'm excited to do that with you. So again, Along the Mountain Road, the EP out October 20th. Again, a companion to your last record, The Festival. And I think I mentioned this a little bit earlier. Is that I remember that the festival was an extension of Forever Overhead. So. What was important to continue from those sessions and bring about on this EP?
Well, so Forever Overhead was a departure, I guess, from my life in Hey Rosetta, and we took a long time to find that sound, to find out what it would be. I mean, I made a bunch of different things. I actually made like an electronic sort of record
really?
In Ableton, and had a sort of a very folky record, not full records, but a bunch of songs. And then these are the ones that kind of won out, this touching back to the big influences of my childhood, this like sort of 70s singer-songwriter thing kind of won. And so that's what we went with. And I really fell in love with what we found. Me and Marcus Beckham, my producer, just, it felt really simple, but also kind of sophisticated. And there's like lots of sonic experimentation, but it's also kind of easy to listen to. And I just really like the balance that we found. And so, and I, put such a wonderful band together to do it live. I just wanted to continue with that. It felt like I hit something that I really felt genuine and good. And so the festival was sort of an extension of that, except for the fact that I did most of it all by myself in my room, of course, because it was the middle of the pandemic. And so this EP was recordings made, through 2019, 2020, 2021. Did a session in Montreal, and then we did a session in the Fogo Island Inn, the shuttered Fogo Island, which was crazy. And so, it's sonically quite similar because it's from the same sort of body of work, but tells a different story from the festival. Yeah.
What's the story that you're telling this time?
Well, it's the story of leaving Toronto in the middle of the pandemic and having this sort of pilgrimage back east to Newfoundland, which was a big part of that time for me. Yeah.
Are you still based there now?
I am.
Are you happy?
I'm happy there. Yeah, I am. I do travel a lot, and it's a harder place to travel in and out of. It's more expensive and time consuming, but I do love it there. My family's there, all my friends are there, and it does really actually speak to me, like just the land and the culture and everything. So I do like it. We have to fight with the weather a little bit, and it can be a bit gray sometimes down there. But
well, I just thought with the reference of course, there's the song Pilgrims as well, and if that's kind of what's encapsulated a lot on this EP, it seems like it's a very important move back, and what kind of keeps you staying and what kind of keeps you creating there, and what else is documented in like we've covered Pilgrims a little bit. Do you want to give us a bit more context?
Sure, yeah. So it is sort of about that. It sort of is about that journey. It's also like more broadly just about my life on the road. Like you are sort of. I just travel all the time with the band. It's been most of my adult life just touring, and. You do get the sense that you're sort of searching for something that you never really find. What are we doing out here? You have to ask yourself sometimes, having your fourth Tim Hortons breakfast sandwich of the day, what are we doing? But yeah, I mean that song, it's from that kind of searching, that kind of traveling. It's also just about general, what would they say back in my sociology class? Anomie. Just generally not connecting with the time and the place that you're born into, kind of. So this idea that if I had been born, or the speaker, which pretty much is me, if I'd been born at an earlier time, I might have been like a religious person. That sounds kind of interesting to me. That sounds nice, Imagine, I don't know, maybe you are religious. I don't know if you are or not.
I grew up religious, but no, I don't. I like to joke that I'm a recovering Catholic.
Nice. Yeah.
I just have taken a break, but I appreciate the traditions and the foundation for sure.
It sounds like so awesome to me to wake up in the morning and speak to some great power in the sky that can watch over you and give you hope and give you guidance and this source of love that is just not there for most people now. You just and you can't bring yourself to believe. I have this modern rational mind. It's just I can't do it. But there's got to be something more, than all these breakfast sandwiches I keep eating. So anyway, that's kind of what that song's about. Yeah.
Interesting. So where do you find that though, as a musician? Do you find it it's clearly, you're on the road eating 75 breakfast sandwiches a month, and it's a challenging slog, but it's also beautiful. And often, but often folks who may be atheists or agnostic or whatnot say, they feel something in nature, or they feel something in art or music. Is what if you're kind of romanticizing the idea of being that person from another time. Do you feel like you get those moments? Is that?
Yeah, I guess that is. I mean, maybe that's why this idea of a pilgrimage comes to mind. You do connect with something very powerful, especially being on stage. There is something very spiritual about it. It's just like, it's not maybe defined all that well, but there's just an energy that's so real, and moving, and everybody's in it together, which is what half the festival's about. I mean, it was just like the idea of this has become such an important source of like life power in my life, and all of a sudden it was just gone for for 2 years, 3 years, whatever it was.
As you're going out on the road, what I think is interesting too is, again, we've got a taste of what's to come. But as far as the tour, we do know there's song, stories, and solo performances. No pressure.
I know.
So you are an effortless storyteller on stage, though. You've got that down for sure.
Well, thank you. I like that.
But what is that like for you as an artist? Especially, you came from a band, you've gone solo with your favorite people and collaborators and band members with you, and now this tour. Why was it important to do it on your own?
Yeah, I mean, I love my band, and I love what it is. It's like a traveling party, and it's so much fun, and I love music. So it's not always easy to go back to being solo, but it's nice. You sort of reconnect with the way the songs began in a lot of ways, and it can be a more intimate thing, and it's a way to tour again without sort of bringing the same show. I really want to like reimagine what the show is, so I really want, every time people come to see me, it's like, oh, that was not the show that I saw last time at all. That was like interesting. I mean, it keeps it interesting for me as well, just to reimagine these songs. I hope that a lot of these songs can live in these different arrangements in like kind of an enriching way, I hope.
So is it you, guitar, piano?
Me, guitar, piano. There'll be, I'm going to get my little gut string banjo out for a few songs.
Nice.
But yeah, there'll be real pianos, and plus a little keyboard stuff. And I'm going to try to make it interesting. It's hard. You can't have the same dynamics without the band and all their amazing skill. But hopefully, it'll be an interesting, hopefully an interesting dynamic night all the same.
Well, we are looking forward to, again, December 8th and 9th at the TD Music Hall. Already sold out.
Sorry, buds.
Already sold out, but that means that you will be back in action. Again, you'll be back here, I'm sure.
I tend to come back here every now and then, yeah.
We'll get a bigger venue next time?
Yes, what do you think? Yeah? Yeah. Okay.
Perfect.
Manager says yes, yeah.
And before we go, again, we just have kind of a tease of what's coming up on the new EP, but Along the Mountain Road is a title track.
It is.
I wanted to know again, what does that mean to you, or why was that so important to be what represented this EP?
Yeah, well, I mean, in a way, that the title even almost speaks to this idea of like the journey home to make that record. But that song itself is sort of about leaving the city for a place with more nature, more space, more. I wrote that song actually right after watching this amazing film called The Hidden Life. Have you seen this?
No,
Terrence
I'm not.
Malick. It's like a conscientious objector in World War II who like refuses to Heil Hitler and goes into this camp, and but it's sort of his life before and after. But it's so rich. He lives on like a farm on a mountain in Switzerland. I think that's right. Maybe it's Austria, and it's so beautiful. And he just lives there with these animals and with his family, and it's just a stunning film. Anyway, I actually watched it and just went immediately to the piano and wrote this song, which is about that and that kind of life. And I'm sure most of us here in the city dream of going to like be on a farm or something, at least for a few days, and then be like, oh, I'm gonna shag this is too much. But yeah, so in a way, it's about that and going back, reconnecting to nature, of course, and being on tour where you like leave one city, drive through all the beautiful fields and don't get out, and then just get out in the next city over and over and over again, which I find hard. I really like the natural world, which sounds foolish to say, but it's true.
I don't think it sounds foolish. But
No, I mean, it seems like obvious, don't we all? But maybe we all don't. I don't know.
I don't mind the energy of a city, but I feel like it seems like you need to have a residency at the Banff Center.
Oh, yeah.
Something.
Can we put in a good word there?
Yeah,
Are
I'm
they
just
listening?
just putting that out there.
Yeah.
You
would
used to be
love that.
surrounded by the natural world, and everyone comes to you.
Perfect.
We get to eat the Tim Hortons breakfast sandwiches
Oh, they got those out there too.
on the way. Thanks again for taking the time. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, a pleasure always.
And we're looking forward to the new record again, Along the Mountain Road. The EP is out October 20th. Thank you, Tim Baker.
Thank you, Lana.